Well, good evening, science students, and welcome to Mr. H's Garage. Yes, we are back. Tonight's topic is a rather lengthy one. It is ecology. So if this video runs too long, I may chop it into a couple of videos. I don't know. We'll just see kind of how long it takes. But we want today to explore this topic, and as I write each vocab word down, I want you to write it, just jot it real quick on a piece of paper. All right. Um, let's see. Let's just use our text thing. Ooh, that's a nice picture. All right. So here we go. The first word that I want you to write down is ecology. All right. There it is. And what is ecology? Well, it is the study of the interactions among organisms and their environments. All right. I'm not going to write this down for you. Just write the word down. You can always look it up or Google it later. Okay. But ecology is that. Now, let's have a picture of ecology, shall we? Ecology. All right. All right. So we're basically looking at all of the pretty things around us, right? The world in which we live, outdoors, that is. Okay. Um, Ecology is made up of ecosystems, right? You live in an ecosystem. Kingwood, the livable forest, is kind of its own ecosystem. So there's another vocab word for you. All right, ecosystem. Ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Well, an ecosystem is all of the living and non-living things in an environment. All right, living and non-living, distinguish between the two. You can even see in this picture right here, for example, you see some things that are living, and of course you see non-living things, the dirt, right? Same thing in this picture. You've got a living thing here, the little plant, and you've got dirt. So you see living and non-living things together in a small or large system, and that is going to be considered an ecosystem. All right. Now, an ecosystem consists of two factors. All right. Biotic. Factors. Those are the living factors in that environment, and it consists of the abiotic factors, and those are the non-living factors in that environment. All right. So let's go back to our pretty pictures again. Not too hard to figure out the living and non-living things in each of those environments, right? Let's take the forest, for example. You can easily see all the living factors in that environment. One thing you may not see that's non-living would be the air, right? Or the sunlight, or maybe the dirt underneath the foliage here. All right. So you have two factors, all right? Biotic and abiotic. All right. And then when you take these ecosystems and you spread them all over the world, you have systems called biomes, which are large geographic areas that have sort of the same features. Again, you can look up biomes on your own and get a detailed definition of it. Let's just show you a picture. All right, look at the map here. You see all of the colors? These represent different biomes in the world. So you look up north here, like in Canada, green means one thing. It's one type of biome, probably taiga or something like that. Yeah, taiga. And then blue is tundra. And you have names for all of these zones. And of course, you can imagine the weather, the climate is different, the terrain, the foliage, the animals, that kind of thing. So if you have an ecosystem that is similar like all over an entire section of a country, you call that a biome. You see Texas kind of covers probably 3 or 4 different biomes that all sort of intersect there. So there's your meaning of the term biome. So these are just some basic terms that sit within the field of ecology that you need to learn fairly quickly. So let's put that on our list. Of course, it's there already. All right, wonderful. Now, let's sort of build an ecosystem from the bottom up, if you will. We're going to start with an organism, okay? And then we're going to say, hey, where do we go from there to build up an ecosystem or even a biome? All right, so when you start with an organism, let's say it's buffalo, okay? I've got a picture I'm going to show you here in a minute. All right, you see the buffalo? Boom, 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 right there. All right, so uh, you have a bunch of buffalo living all together. That is a community, right? And then you have a bunch of buffalo living with other organisms, and that is called a, well, excuse me, I've got it backwards. Wait a minute. Burp, burp, burp. Let me back up. If you have a bunch of the same organism living together, like the buffalo, that is a population of buffalo. Okay. And then if they're living together with other organisms, that is a community. Let's look at our picture. Okay. So you've got a herd of bison. I called them buffalo, but I meant bison. All right. They're very similar animals. And then you've got a herd of them, right? That's your population. See the word population there? All right. And then you have the bison living with the prairie dog and the snake and the hawk and the grass. All of that is a little community. All right. And then you add in all of the non-living things or abiotic factors, right? Like the water, the mountains, the sky, all of that. That makes up the ecosystem, right? You have your biotic or living things and your abiotic or non-living things like the air, water, and mountains, okay? So you go in this order, all right? We'll just put an example, buffalo, all right? More, I'm gonna say bison. I'm gonna keep using the correct term. Bison, more bison, all right? And then you've got bison and other organisms, all right? You put them together, living and non-living, or let's use the correct terms, biotic and abiotic. So that would include your bison and all the other organisms and the water and sky and air and sunlight and all of those things. All right. So there we go. Let's do this. Let's pause and see how long this video is before we do the rest of it.